always talk about making a living in fishing and different ways to take your career. He's taken his career now to speaking, public speaking, something we do every time here at practice. And he's on Major League Fishing. If you guys watch any of the Major League Fishing, he sits behind the desk with JT and Chad. And you would not believe how many times this guy comes to Tulsa right here, because the studio is in Tulsa. Like, he's here all the time. And maybe one of these days we can talk him into letting us come down and tour.
Why don't y'all do a road trip? Absolutely.
Yeah, that'd be cool. But I want to let him speak. You guys take advantage, ask all the questions you want, man. There's no better speaker we'll have this year than this guy right here.
Yeah, I doubt that. I doubt. Y'all don't have a clue who your coach is, do you? What's he done? One Red Crest. What else? One Bassmaster what? Classic. What is a classic? Is it a big tournament? Yeah. How big? Yeah, real big. What else? Angler of the Year. Absolutely. Y'all know how much money he's won? $3 million. You're short.
Red as can be, Candy.
4. You're still short. He's right at $4.2 million in career earnings. He's in the top 5 of all-time money list. He will be first ballot Hall of Fame angler. So when he tells you something, it's pretty legit, right? What's the most important thing? What's the number one most important thing of all bass fishing in today's bass fishing now? Is it rods? Is it reels? Is it forward-facing sonar? What is it? Being able to fish close. I like that. Give me something else. Most important thing, finding fish. I like that. Water temperature. I like that. Still ain't there. Most important thing. Knowing how to use your electronics. All of those are good answers. Number one, most important thing, time on the water. I don't care if it's on a creek bank. I don't care if it's on a farm pond bank. I don't care if it's in a lake with that guy in his Z21. Time on the water. You cannot replace it. Nor can you take this out and pretend to be there. When I say time on the water, that stays at home or in the pocket. I just hit a nerve then, didn't I? The dad's over there laughing. They're going, can't get him off cell. Time on the water. You want to know what makes guys like him so great? They practice 16 and 17 hours a day. I've seen it. I witnessed it. I remember when he first come up, I made a phone call to a guy named Rick Pierce at Bass Cat Boats. I said, there's this little kid out of Oklahoma. It's going to be pretty good. I'll never forget Rick's comment. He's going to be a good regional angler, but I don't think he's got what it takes. You know what I saw right off the bat? I saw a young man that was hungry. I saw he had some drive. I saw he had some instincts. But most importantly, I saw the amount of time on the water he spent. If y'all don't hear me say anything else, if you want to take this to another level, there is no shortcut for time on the water. Electronics is important. Water temp is very important. Conditions are very important. Y'all will deal, there's no other sport that deals with the multitude of conditions that bass fishing does. I'll give you, for instance, football, you've got a football, you've got an offense, you've got a defense. The field stays the same, right? 100 yards long, 50 yards wide. Doesn't change. No matter where you go to, it doesn't change. Every lake you go to is different. Every day you fish is different. One day it's cloudy, one day it's windy, one day it's sunny, one day there's rain, one day there's no rain. One day the water's cold, one day it's hot, one day the water temp's rising, it's falling, there's spawning, it's pre-spawn, it's post-spawn. There's nothing you can do that has any more variables than bass fishing. Nothing can substitute time on the water at all. Give you guys another quick story too. Anybody watch Major League Fishing in here? Okay. Y'all ever heard of a kid named Dustin Connell? DC, right? You know how he got his start? Fishing BFL. Close, not quite. College series, college ranks. You know what college he fished for? Alabama. That's exactly right. So here's the backstory behind that. Dustin Connell showed up at the University of Alabama. And guys, college scholarships are real. Before I got here, I was talking to the head coach at Drury University, Rick Emmett, who used to be his boss. He was Kevin Van Dam's boss. He was everybody that's ever run a Nitro's boss. He's a pretty good guy. He's now the head coach at Drury University. They're giving out, in comparison, after a kid gets through that program, hundreds of thousands of dollars in scholarship. So DC, he wanted to be a college baseball pitcher. A lot of people don't know that. He played JUCO. He was okay, but not that good, but he loved to fish. So he went to the University of Alabama. And at that university, that fishing team's pretty stout. There's another kid there by the name of Matt Lee, and then there's this other little really skinny kid that is a pain in everybody's butt out there right now named Jay Lee. Okay, so he was a part of they were over there. No, they were in Auburn, and Dustin was in Alabama. But he wanted to compete against the best. When Dustin showed up at Alabama, he had a 16-foot champion, a 90 horsepower Mercury, and very little electronics. But he had drive, he had passion, and the University of Alabama, because he did well enough, paid for him to travel all over the country and to other top finishers at Alabama. And Dustin Connell will tell you to this day, the reason he's had success nationally is because of the college experience that he got. Not only that, he also got a pretty good education from the University of Alabama. We hear about the baseball and the football and the basketball scholarships, and I'm telling y'all right now, fishing scholarships are legit. They're big time. And these coaches like Rick Emmett and others, they are looking for really good, first thing, high school students. College is about student athletes. Students, number one thing. Second thing, he's looking for anglers that are willing to get better. And how he figures out if they're going to get better? Time on the water. Time on the water, number one thing. We see all the gadgets that the guys have now, right? Forward-facing sonar, down imaging, side scan, all of that. Take all of that away from him and his competition. And if all they had for a depth finder was this, and they did this, because this is how we used to do it back in the day. Yeah, that's about 5 foot deep. That's how we did it. If you took all the toys away from them, they're still going to be good. Because what you can't take from them is instincts. Every day that you spend on the water is an important day. Absolutely important day. There is no wasted days. There is no secret lures. I get to watch these guys for hours on end. When we do, have anybody ever seen the Major League Fishing Cup events that we do? No information, no practice. It's on the Outdoor Channel. I'm normally this close to them, boat to boat. He growls at me all the time. Has y'all's coach ever growled at you? I'll get too close. Stay back. I get all the time. But what I see them do day in and day out is just instincts. Clouds happen. Then they throw a reaction bait. Sun pops out. Now they're flipping and pitching. They're not getting bit after 5 minutes. They pick up the trolling motor and move. It's instincts. There's not anything any one of these guys over here can teach you as far as instincts. But every time they take you on the water, you have a chance to develop that. Because at some point in time, when you go if you want to go from high school to college, in high school right now, you have boat captains, right? Thank every one of these guys, because it is a thankless task. When you go to college, guess who's making all the decisions? You guys are. You guys. If you're having any aspirations, you're going to be in the front of the boat. You're making all the decisions. You're driving the boat. Time on the water, most important thing. Second most important thing. Tell me. Out of all this stuff that they're doing here, second most important.
Come on, guys. You know the answer to this. We talk about it every week.
Uh-oh. See, I told you he'd growl at you. Absolutely. Guys like him can make a good living with a rod and reel. But I will say this. There's not one of them. Not one. There's not an exception to this rule that can make a living on winnings alone. He made $4.5 million. How many years you been doing it? He has, because he's almost as old as I am now. There's not. But because he's really good with this, and he's a really good, and when I'm talking to anglers, when I call him every night, he'll get this speech. during the day, at some point in time, slow down enough from fishing to educate me, to entertain me, and to sell me something. Because when you have the mic and the camera, now you have the ability to do all of the above. And that's why he has all these sponsors.
One of the things throughout this YouTube channel that I want you guys to learn a little bit about my team. You know, me and Coach Salt are super proud of all these kids. And one of the things we're teaching them is to get up and speak. And this week, my very first one for you is Chase Robinson. You guys get to meet Chase. Here he is.
My name's Chase Robinson. I'm in 9th grade and I'm 15 years old. And the biggest fish that I've ever caught was 7.5 pounds. And I was with another member of the team. His name was Jack. And we were fishing off like a little plastic pelican boat. And there was a stump. And I threw it right by the stump. I was fishing with a spinnerbait. And he hit it. And I hooked it as hard as I could. And I still barely hooked him. It was like right on his lip. But that was fun. It felt like a tire. Some other stuff that I do, I play basketball. And that's about like the only thing I do, basketball and fishing. And my favorite bait to use is probably a spinnerbait or a jig. My favorite colors are probably like black and blue for the jig, and then for a spinnerbait, probably like white and red. I like fishing ponds a lot more than lakes because it's way easier. And my favorite subject in school is lunch. My favorite reel brand is probably Shimano, and then my favorite rod brand is probably Abu Garcia. I got a lot of Abu Garcia rods because I don't have a lot, and it's mostly Abu Garcia rods. And I've only been fishing for like 2 years. I went with another member of the team, Garen, the first time, and I just loved it ever since. I thought it was super fun.
Then there's a third leg to this, a third. If you don't hear anything else I say tonight, hear this one, education. Please, please do not skip on that. We can take every trophy we got from all our anglers away from, but we can never steal their education. Once you get it, you've got it forever. If you don't hear anything else I say tonight, get that education. Dustin Connell, Education, University of Alabama. This guy, I know he was a running back at a college and got a college degree there, right? Did y'all know he was a running back? Everybody didn't know that? Coach has got a lot of secrets. I need to hang out with this bunch a little bit more. After the meeting, come see me. I'll tell you the rest of them too. Time on the water. Public speaking. Don't be scared of it. Education. If you guys will take care of those three things, you're going to go a long, long ways. And then the last thing, please, 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 because I'm going to keep mine short and then I'm going to open up for Q&A and then you guys can hang out. Thank every one of these guys. Because without them, y'all not going to have a fishing team, right? How many here's got their own boat and their own truck and they can pull it to the lake? We got one. Your boat's going 2, 3. Y'all's boat's going to get crowded if y'all had to carry everybody to the lake, right? All right, y'all have heard me rattle enough. Can we have a little Q&A?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes, sir. How many winnings do I have? That's a fair question. So when I retired, I never broke the $1 million mark. I was at $964,000 in career winnings. And don't think I didn't wish I'd have got that other 40,000 so I could say I was a $1 million winner. I've only won twice on tour. I think
you say only. Like how many people have won once? I mean, don't downgrade it, guys. Winning.
Fair question, though. But here's a remarkable thing about Kevin Van Dam. So in 2006 or 7, we went to 50th place. Check was $10,000. Kevin did the majority of his damage, the 7.4 million, back when 50th place didn't pay a penny. 35th place paid $2,000. 7.4 million the old-fashioned way. And I got to watch Kevin win 4 Angler of the Years, and that was enough to make me get out of the sport because he did them in a row. So good question. I'm short of $1 million mark in career earnings, though. Very fair question. Yes, sir. Anybody? What else?
What's your favorite part about broadcasting MLF?
What's my favorite part about broadcasting MLF? That's a good question and one I enjoyed answering. The coolest thing that I get to do every day when I'm broadcasting Major League Fishing is before the day's over with, and most people can't say this when they go to work, I get to watch greatness. And here's what I mean by that. By the end of the day, we've got the cameras on the guys that are doing the best, right? We've got them up there to the leaderboard. Every day it's a different story. It's a different thing that's happened, but every day I get to watch an angler do something really great. Just to win a day against that bunch is hard. Really, really hard. So I get a front row seat of that. Not many people can say they go to work and at the end of the day they can go home and look at their wife or significant other or their kids and go, wow, I got to see something really great at work. Every day when I'm watching these guys fish before the day's over with, what they did to win that day or win that round or win that event was pretty special. It's pretty unique because this field is stacked right now. I'm glad I don't have no part of it at all. Good question. What else? If you're thinking it and you don't ask it, shame on you, because when I walk out this door, you and your buddy are going to be like, man, I wish I'd asked that. You should have asked it.
Give us one thing you regret.
One thing I regret. Wow. The big, man, that's a laundry list. So the one thing I regret, not taking advantage completely of the opportunities I was given as I was coming up through the ranks. I had a lot of doors open for me, and I walked through a lot of them. And I also missed out on some really big opportunities because I got too caught up in me. And I regret that. I really do. But now I'm having more fun than ever. So we're all going to make a mistake in life. It's never what you do. It's never in making a mistake. It's how you handle it afterwards, though. That's the biggest regret. The thing I enjoy the most, though, one of the biggest things, hanging out with groups like you guys. Y'all keep me young. You really do. High school program's legit. College program is legit. We didn't have this. I know I didn't have this opportunity coming up. College scholarships are real. Thank, hug, handshake, high five your boat captains. Stay in school. Get the darn education. And then take it as far as you want to. And I'll leave you with this. Don't ever let somebody tell you can't do it. If I had $1 for every time somebody told me I couldn't go where I went and fishing, I would not be working right now. Good luck. Appreciate you.
Man, thank you. That was awesome, Marty. Can't thank you enough. Really, really appreciate it.